bread. But would you please tell our viewers a little bit about that award-winning documentary regarding the civil rights movement in America?
Oh, yes, Emancipation, Revolution. We did that about 15 years ago before people were even talking about race relations. I mean, no one had even heard of Obama. But at the same time, the Republican Party has totally lost sight of who and why they were even created. They were founded as an abolitionist party in 1854, and President Lincoln was the very first Republican president. And the first 6 of the 9 planks in their first platform were all about abolishing slavery, equal rights, voting rights, equal citizenship, integration, no segregation. And they were fighting against the Democrat Party, who fought a war to keep slavery alive. They founded the KKK. They instituted Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow was basically identifying blacks that were now voting, because all blacks who were voting were Republican, because that was the party of Lincoln. So they knew if they could keep blacks from voting, they were keeping Republicans from voting. So the lie has been it was whites keeping blacks from voting. It was not. It was Democrats keeping black Republicans from voting. So what we were trying to do is show the truth about the history, because the Republican Party has either forgotten it or not known it, or doesn't really care about that issue. I'm not an apologist for the party by any means. I'm an apologist for the truth. And the truth has been so distorted that I, as identifying with the party of Lincoln, am called a racist. And I said, no, excuse me, time out. Let me tell you what the party was that actually was and continues to have racist policies. Reparations, for example. I say bring on that debate. Because if you have the debate about reparations, you're going to necessarily have to show the evidence that shows that the party that should pay reparations is the Democratic Party. Again, they fought and divided the country over the issue of slavery. They instituted, the Jim Crow, founded the KKK, fought unanimously against the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, kept segregation alive long past the time that it should have been discarded. And the reason that, for example, Reconstruction was not successful, a lot of people don't realize this, the vice presidents and presidents did not run from the same party. So Johnson, who was the vice president of Lincoln, was a Democrat. So he was a good old boy Democrat, loved the Confederacy, loved Jeff Davis, so they were going to do everything they could to upset the Reconstruction period. A lot of people don't know this. This is not just Republicans need to know their history. Americans need to know their history. So that's why we did it, again, 15 years ago.
And so as a documentarian, I'm sure you got all reliable sources and really dug in there, and that you, because I can feel the passion.
Oh, yeah.
You're very passionate about that.
Well, the funny thing is, I went in there sort of as a fly on the wall, and I conducted all the interviews, and we have several historians in there, but most of the interviews were conducted between me and black conservatives who are going through a second civil rights movement, because if they do not identify as a Democrat, or they say, well, I don't really want to have anything to do with the party, they're vilified. We've seen it happen with Condi Rice and Colin Powell and Michael Steele, and now we're seeing it again with Candace Owens and Lawrence Jones and conservative black youth that are saying, no, you know what? I don't believe in the party. I should have the right to choose what party I belong to without being vilified and called all kinds of names. So they're fighting a second civil rights now. And we just like to keep people apprised of what the truth is. That's, my goal is speaking the truth. But a romantic comedy is a good sort of commercial break between, doing commentary.
Yes. So. Well, speaking of that, and I really felt your passion sharing that. Is that why you got into filmmaking? How did this journey begin with you? Tell us more about that.
Doing the documentaries, or just
no, the journey in media and filmmaking, TV series.
That documentary took so much research, because every single person that I interviewed, I had to read their books. I had to, read up on them. I had like 20 pages of questions for each one, and I'm getting to know them, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, where are we going with this? Because I was learning as they were talking, especially as the historians were talking, because the premises, the bottom line was, why were blacks in America now identifying with the party that had always oppressed them? I didn't understand that, and I wanted to reveal this, and so I was learning at the same time. So. But all the research that it took going into it, I thought it would be so easy if I could just write a script and say, okay, here, you just say this and you say that. And then you walk across the room and sit down and start talking to them, and you say that. And so, it's so simple. So that's what made me think a narrative would be a whole lot easier than a documentary, is I could write a script for people and, cast it and then have a fun movie. I'm so thankful that I was naive, because if someone had told me how hard it was to make a movie, I probably never would have done it. So I went into it with, eyes open, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun, because everyone's going to know what they're supposed to do. And it was a learning process for me. I had no idea what I was doing. In fact, I told everyone, all of our sets are learning experiences for everyone that's there in cast and crew or whatever. I told everyone, I said, we're all learning on this. There are no dumb questions. Ask any question you have. Just don't ask me because I don't know the answers, because this is my first movie. I said, and I'm going to start it out. What is a first AD? I had no idea what a first AD was. It means first assistant director. Okay, great. What does that mean? So it really was a fun learning experience, and we had first movie was really great, I thought. We won a ton of awards, and it was called
wonderful.
Life Fine-Tuned. We won the Top Applause Award in the International Family Film Festival in Hollywood.
Congratulations.
And we beat a Disney and a DreamWorks movie out.
Wow.
Yeah, we were shocked by that. In fact, we almost didn't even go to the awards. I said, oh, well, this is going to be so cute. Yeah. And we won, and we were just, oh my gosh. And it was a confirmation from the Lord for us that this is what he wanted us to do. We were on the right track, and yes, he did put it on our hearts to make movies. So I was very thankful for that.
Yes, and I really love the work that you're doing with Renaissance Women Productions, and your heart to serve the community through that. I've often thought that high-risk youth would actually be good candidates for a program like that, to teach them that, because that would interest them. Cameras, lights, action would interest them and keep their interest, and they could be learning life skills and things. So I think it would be a great way to even reach youth at risk.
I agree, and it's a wonderful discipline. I always look at filmmaking kind of like the Army or the military. They've got amazing tight protocols, from the director on down, first AD, second AD, then you got your DP over here and their relationship, and even things like when you're crossing in front of a camera, you've got to be polite and mention that you're crossing and saying things, and you have to do that, because otherwise it would be total chaos on a set, and everyone would be talking over everyone, and there would be no one that's in control. So it really is set up very much like the military. And the great thing about it is, because it is so organized that way, you can have people from another crew come on board from another country even, and they immediately know what that title means, and they know how to plug their cog right into your machine.
So it's cross-cultural? Even from another country, it would be the same. Oh, well, that's interesting.
It really is fascinating. It's so much fun. And I must say, I learned so much from my son, who went to Full Sail University, and they train you in the art and the science of movie making. And he graduated 1 week before we started filming first Life Fine-Tuned. And we were going to be shooting on the red camera, and that was the only camera they did not show them how to use in the film school. So he wanted to learn how to do it and be part of it. So I was so thrilled and honored that he wanted to be on our set with us. So he was first AD. Oh, no, first AC. Was he first
I don't
AC?
know.
Right, okay, yes. See, I'm still kind of like that. So.
Well, we've got a little viewing audience here today. Your family's here, my husband's here, and of course Don Harris is here with us. So if you see us looking away, there's other people in the room.
Cheering us on, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So. Wow. Well, that's you have obviously learned a lot, and now you're sharing everything that you've learned. You've got a vast array of knowledge. But you know what? I was surprised to learn about you, Nina, with all of this media experience and these political involvements and different things. You're also a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Tell me the story about that.
Oh gosh, it's a really long story, but yes, I am. It goes back to when the Korean airline was shot down back in 1983, and I led a demonstration to protest it because innocent people, 269 innocent people were murdered. Their passenger airline was shot out of the sky, and there was a man who was the father of Taekwondo in America. His name was Jun Rhee, and he saw that. And it was a Korean airline. And so he contacted me and he says, Nina, if you're going to be leading any demonstrations in the future, you need to know how to defend yourself. So I want to teach you and your husband Taekwondo. That was literally the beginning of it. And since then, we, just fell in love with that. We fell in love with Korea and the whole Korean culture. And it was new to us. We had no idea. So it was.
So both you and your husband both?
Yeah, we both did Taekwondo. The whole family did Taekwondo together, but I went on to do the black belt stuff.
You're the only one with the black belt?
Yeah, I'm the only one.
She's the only one with the second-degree black belt. Go, girl power!
But they deserve it. They deserve it. So we should give them honorary black belts.
Yes.
It was
wow. You know what? If we had a bigger room, I'd let you demonstrate a move for our viewers. I'm sure they'd get a big kick out of that.
Get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, wow. Well, Nina, what words of encouragement would you like to share with others who are professing Christians and they're serving in the entertainment industry?
Well, I would say don't let Hollywood tell you can't do it. I think the rules and regulations are changing daily, and the way technology has changed, it really has leveled the playing field for people who are talented and gifted. I mean, you could buy a camera that used to cost $250,000. You could buy it for $1,000, $1,500, or rent it. Mm-hmm. Don't even buy it, just rent it, because technology is changing so fast. But if the Lord has put it in your heart to do that, to be either in front of the camera, behind the camera, to write, to act, whatever, don't let people tell you can't do it. The world is full of naysayers, but God is a yes-sayer. He says, I created you in my image. I called you to be a co-creator with me. Don't listen to people that say you can't do it. Listen to me. I'm calling you to do this with me and with other people and pulling the body of Christ together. So it's a very, very exciting time for Christians to be jumping into this industry, or fine-tuning their skills, or pulling other people into it. And I like to think of movies as kind of three-dimensional books or art, because it really is. You use the same technique for writing scripts that you would in writing a book, or the same techniques in painting that you would use in setting up a scene, or even doing the wardrobe and putting people in the right colors in the room, and like you've got orange over here and I need a little balance of something over here. So you paint on the canvas of film, basically. So I think it's an exciting time, and Hollywood is not the center of the film universe by any means.
Right.
It is everywhere now, and we're trying to encourage people to come to Virginia to shoot.
Oh, okay.
And because we're a right-to-work state, you can be a member of SAG. We're non-union, so we're not forced to do that. You've got FICOR people that are leaving SAG and saying, "What have you done for me lately?" Because they're basically told they can't do any of these independent films because they're SAG. They go, well, they're the only ones that are offering me jobs. Hollywood's not offering me a job. So what have you done for me lately? So I think there's a lot of movement in, in the unions, understanding that they're losing that control that they've had for years.
Well, maybe they'll make some adjustments, or if they're able to make some adjustments and consider all these things. So,
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. Now, as the writer-director of First Lady, what are you most proud of about this film?
I'm proud that the whole family can watch it and leave smiling together, feel happy about life, happy with whoever else is in the audience. They can be laughing, feeling good. They don't, because I hate leaving a movie feeling dirty, feeling like I've been violated, feeling like I've been talked down to or preached at or whatever. It drives me crazy. It's like the left always has to put their little political jabs in it. Just give us pure entertainment. Don't preach to me. Don't tell me about global warming or this or that. I don't want to hear it. I just want to be entertained. I'm not paying you to tell me what your political agenda is. So I'm proud of the fact that we kept all of that out of this, and that you can just go and have fun watching it and feel good about life in the end.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it tonight and celebrating with you guys on the red carpet. And we'll be there and very excited and sharing with our viewers a little bit later on and some other programming about that. But Nina, what a pleasure and a delight to interview you. I know you're very busy, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time to stop by.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
It's been great, and I wish you much success and a great run with First Lady.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Bless you.
All right, stay tuned for more.
No, it was charming and funny. Great movie. Really loved it.
I really enjoyed it. It was such a unique storyline that engaged me until the very end. It was just wonderful. I encourage everyone to see it.
Why?
I think everyone should see this film. I loved how it would be a film that I would see with my family. It was wholesome, it was funny, it was serious. It had everything for the whole family. I thought it was really good. She did a great job.
I really enjoyed the film. What I liked about it was the subject matter, actually, the First Lady. I think sometimes it's a bit the First Lady can be a bit underrated and so on, but it's a very important role. It really does help to win elections, you know, if you have a very likable First Lady. So I found that was quite interesting. And I think what I've seen from the film as well is that because the character, she loved people. And, you know, when you look at the reality of First Ladies and so on, I think that's just really important when they love people. They're not just all into themselves, but they are into, you know, very valuable causes and things like that.
I loved it. The actors were wonderful. It was funny. There was a few moments of tears, but it was great. It was fantastic. Loved it. Can't wait to see it again.
Without giving too much away, I really love how it ended and the beautiful story, how it got turned around at the end.
Anybody could watch it. You didn't have to protect your kids from it. It had a great storyline, and it left you feeling good.
Well, I'm a sucker for a chick flick, so it was great. It was funny. It, you know, had that charm and those special romantic moments. It was really cute. So did a great job.
Well, that's wonderful. What was your favorite part without giving anything away?
Without giving anything away. You know, I think when the First Lady and the King had that special moment on the couch, that I don't want to give up too much, but it was just really authentic and sweet, so I really liked that.
Wow, what a great time we've had tonight celebrating the screening of First Lady. Be sure to be watching for it. Find it on your social media sites and look for it in a theater near you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the Time with Teresa television show. For guest and sponsorship opportunities, contact Teresa today.
Denton Community Television, operated by the Mayborn School of Journalism, the University of North Texas.
I want to hear about everything the Lord is doing in your life, or just to be able to have the opportunity to pray with you. You see, when God was speaking this to Abraham, He wasn't speaking it just for the benefit of Abraham, but God was speaking this to Abraham for the benefit of God's people. God tells us in His Word, He said, I will give you every place that you set your foot, but you've got to set your foot into that new place. But you're going to have to face every giant that is standing in your way of facing success. And that's what some of you need to do. You need to cut off the heads of some of the things that are trying to hinder you from moving into your future. You need to cut off the head of fear. You need to cut off the head of doubt. You need to cut off the head of unbelief and face everything, every giant that's standing in your way of moving into that new door, the door of opportunity that is wide and ready for you to open. He promises us that He is the way, He is the truth, and He